Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Alicia Elizabeth and I'm so excited that you decided to join me here today on my channel. If you are a new viewer, hello, welcome. So excited to have you. If you are a returning viewer, listen, y'all know what it is. Hey boo, hey. To the both of you, grab a snack, get comfortable. I think we have a lot to discuss today. We have been unpacking, journeying through, and talking about The Gifts of Imperfection by Dr. Brené Brown. It's been amazing. If this is your first time watching the series, you are more than welcome to stay here and watch this video because the information is independent of one another. However, it does build on each other. So I would encourage you to also go and check the rest of the series out. It's under the playlist on my YouTube channel, or you can watch the previous video. The link is below. This section is entitled, cultivating play and rest. Okay, I just want to remind you that the goal of these sections and these different topics is to live a wholehearted life, to love from a wholehearted place. Okay, so this section says letting go of exhaustion as a status symbol and productivity as self-worth. All right, so I'm just going to jump right in to the text so we can talk about it. Dr. Brené Brown quotes Dr. Stuart Brown, who is a psychiatrist, clinical researcher, and founder of the National Institute for Play. He is also the author of a wonderful book titled Play, How It Shapes the Brain and Opens the Imagination and Invigorates the Soul, in case you want to, check him out. And so basically, Brown explains in his work that play shapes our brain, helps us foster empathy, helps us navigate complex social groups, and is at the core of creativity and innovation. So I know you're probably like, Alicia, well then what is play? What are we talking about here? Are we going to the beach? Are we getting in the sand? What are we doing? And so by definition, Dr. Brown says that play is apparently purposeless. It is doing something that you enjoy that has no purpose behind it. And so what the book instantly talks about is how many of us will go into having anxiety at the thought of that. We would get really stressed out. We're unable to understand why we should play when there's much to do on our to-do list. But as you just heard me read, that when we make time for play, there are benefits such as the shaping of our brain, fostering empathy, navigating complex social groups, and at the core of creativity and innovation. Okay. And so Brown also states in his work that many of us believe that the opposite of play is work, and it's really not. The opposite of play, choosing not to play, is actually depression. He says, respecting our biological program need for play can transform work. So for all my work addicts or people who really are big about being productive, I want you to lean in and listen, because while you may have canceled out what is being suggested, I really want to encourage you to open your ears and heart to what I'm saying, because it ties together. And remember, if your goal is to live wholeheartedly, you have to consider the things that you don't do, the things that you've thrown away, and maybe go back in that trash and pull it out and place it in an appropriate space, okay? So he says, respecting our biological program need for play can transform work. It can bring back excitement and newness to our job. Play helps us deal with difficulties, provides a sense of expansiveness, promotes mastery of our craft, and is an essential part of the creative process. More important, true play that comes from our own inner needs and desires is the only path to finding lasting joy and satisfaction in our work. In the long run, work does not work without play. And so I love that, because when I sit down to think about my work, right? So I'm a teacher. I teach at a high school. And so I tell my students, I'm a teacher by day. I'm a writer and a poet by night. All these different things that I see as work. If I don't make time and space to recharge, to find fulfillment in other areas, I can see how exhaustion pours into these spaces, right? Or how I'm not being my best self. So when I read it, I'm like, you know what? That makes sense. But then the text goes on to say, it seems that living and loving with our whole hearts require us to respect our body's needs for renewal. I'm going to say that one more time because I really want us to get this section. It is counterculture, right? Many people won't watch this video all the way through because they have things to do, right? They have podcasts to listen to, other YouTube videos to listen to that are informative, that will help them build their brand, that will help them gain another dollar, that will help them lose weight, that this feels pointless. And I want to say to you as the person facilitating this discussion, that when I read this section, it was a good reminder that balance is at the core of wholehearted living. Balance is at the core of me doing extremely well in all of the areas that I put my hands to the plow to, right? So it seems that living and loving with our whole heart requires us to respect our body's needs for renewal. So then she goes on, Brene talks about rest, sleep, and sleep depth. If you haven't researched those terms, research sleep depth, which essentially is a term for not getting enough rest and the consequences behind it. But she says, many of us believe that exhaustion is a status symbol of hard work and that sleep is a luxury. How many of us believe that? I'm going to be completely honest with you. Some of my favorite motivational speakers, some of my favorite entrepreneurs that I follow talk about rest being for those who have completed their work. And while I know that it's good-hearted, I know that it comes with the best intentions, I can absolutely see how these people who have kind of arrived to a space of having more can now look back and say, like, I got here because I didn't rest, right? But I wonder, just sharing with you all, not knocking their hustle, not knocking their path, I wonder if they could have gotten there faster, healthier, maybe more connected if they made time for play. Our culture absolutely cancels playing. Absolutely. But really, we should think about what saying things like sleep is for the dead does to us. We aren't our most creative selves when we're exhausted. Who are we trying to prove something to when we decide to go 48 hours without rest? And what kind of work are we producing? If I went to school and I was tired, not only would my students not get the top of the line, lesson, they probably would not get the top of the line, Miss Alicia, right? They're not going to get the best of me. I'm going to be exhausted. I'm not going to have the attention span. I'm not going to have the patience. And so when we believe and accept the mindset that work is like the ultimate space, this is our badge of honor. No rest is a badge of honor. Sleep is for the luxury or for the dead. We actually are doing more harm to ourselves. She says, we are a nation of exhausted and overstressed adults raising overscheduled children. I'm not going to harp on that too much, but I do just want to say to my parents that are watching my channel, that if you are stressed, if you are overworked, I promise you your children are thinking that's how life should look. And overscheduling your children means that they're possibly missing out on all these wonderful benefits of the shaping of the brain, personal development, and creativity being at its finest. I'm not a parent, so I try to stray from talking about that because I know there are some people who get really touchy about it. But I just want to encourage you that because as a teacher, I see your kids. And what happens is some of them have terrible time management skills. They are extremely anxious. They are overwhelmed. They don't know how to advocate for themselves. They don't feel qualified. They don't feel worthy. Even though they're doing 26 things a day and there's only 24 hours, there is this desire to prove their worth and do more. And to be busy, because busy equals productive. And busy equals guaranteed access to college. And it's all a lie. All of that's a lie. Even the college connection, the correlation. I have told students before, you don't know who's on that panel. You don't know what community that university is trying to cultivate in the year that you come in. You don't know what they're looking for. Don't assume. You can be well-rounded, you could be well-balanced, but just exhausted and depleted because you have 25 things on your resume and all of them are getting 10% of you. That doesn't really put you in a position to win. And I wish someone told me this when I was in high school. I wish someone told me this when I became an adult in my early ages. She says, if we want to live a wholehearted life, we have to become intentional about cultivating sleep and play, and about letting go of exhaustion as a status symbol and productivity as self-worth. Making the choice to rest and play at best is counterculture. The decision to let go of exhaustion and productivity as badges of honor made complete sense to Brene, and so they sat down and they did an activity that I'm going to talk to you about. So her and her husband sat down and they said, when things are going really well in our family, what does it look like? If you are taking notes, I want you to ask yourself that. When things are going really well in my life, what does it look like? We are currently quarantined, and I have been checking my privilege consistently. Meaning that while I really appreciate this time that we've been given, I understand that it is because I am employed. I understand that it's because I don't have kids. I understand that it is because I don't have a partner that I have to consider. I understand that this quarantine has not impacted me in ways that other people has been impacted by it, right? And so I say this with the posture of love and kindness and thoughtfulness behind it, that if you are someone that during this quarantine you've had a lot of downtime, I'm hoping that certain practices have become your new norm, and maybe when it comes to the question of when things are going really well in our family, what does it look like? You have a list of things. So as a single woman, right, I'm engaging with you, I'm telling you, when things are going really well in my life, I am exercising, I am saving money, I am getting enough rest, I have adequate time to complete tasks, I have a better grasp on time management. I'm just naming things off the top of my head, right? So she asked herself, what do they look like when things are going really well? And she said that this is called the list of joy, like your joy list, or ingredients for joy and meaning. So as a wife who's also a parent, her list looked like sleep, working out, healthy food, cooking time, time off, weekends away, going to church, being present with the kids, control of money, meaningful work, time with family and friends, time to just hang out. I share that because I know that there are some people with families listening, and I want to get your brain moving on what are some things I should put on my joy list for my family. So then she says, but when they look at their dream list, okay, so joy list, and then you have dream list, right? She says when they look at their dream list, she notices that it was a list of things that they made a few years ago, and all of it was accomplishments and acquisitions, such as a house with more bedrooms, a trip here, personal salary goals, professional endeavors, and so forth. She says everything that required that we make more money and spend more money. If you're going to be completely honest with yourself, as I plan to as well, how many of us can admit that our goals, every time we start a new year, every time we start a new job, when we come into new money, has always been something that required more of us? When I read this, I instantly was like, wow. This goes back to the sufficiency mindset. This goes back to scarcity, of not feeling like you have enough and needing to do more to obtain more, when really more is in your backyard. More is laying next to you. More is in the room right down the hall from yours. More is in your ability to sleep in a little bit. More is in the time that you can fix dinner and ask your family, how was your day, and really listen. But when we make these lists of things we want to reach this place of happiness and joy, it always require and demand more of us, more money, more work, just to get more tangible things, which doesn't guarantee or yield joy. I hope this is making sense. And so she says, I'm trying to make sure I don't jump ahead of anything, that when they implemented, so once they looked at the two lists, she decided that she would dial things back. I understand that this is also a place of privilege when you can say, I'm gonna cut my hours because you're a 2-parent household, 2-income household, and maybe making enough money to where you can dial your time back, right? So I don't want my parents or people who have to work to feel like, well, dang, I can't tap into joy because I do have to work full time. No. Looking at your joy list, how can you shape your life around making sure those things get done, right? So if you are your most joyful self, if you're your best self when you're well rested, sleep has to become a priority of yours. I know everything in your body and your mind says that, oh my goodness, I'm not going to be as productive. I'm not going to be able to work on my business. But going to time management, which is what I'm hitting on, is that if you are well rested, when you do sit down to work on your business, you're giving your business the best of you versus staying up all night, sleeping 1 to 2 hours to tell people you were up all night, I guess, to post a timestamp, I don't know, and your business not even getting the best customer service, email response, ideas, innovation. All of that is nixed because you're not sleeping. If you are your best when you tap into your community multiple times a week, you need to call them multiple times a week. If that's where your ideas come from, your humor, your ability to relax your mind, your life has to be shaped around your joy list because it is going to develop your brain and it is going to help your work. It's going to make your life experiences more joyful. And I know the world is telling us not to play. It is a very childish term. It reminds us of elementary, but I want to encourage everyone watching this video that if you do nothing else this week, to tap into wholehearted living. I want you to schedule playtime. For myself, I'm not a big TV watcher, but when I find a show that I really like, I'll make time to watch it. Like, I gotta really like the show because then I will make time in my day for it. When I find something that I really like to do, like I love talking to my friends and family, but I'm that person that's like, can we do 2 things at once? Can we go for a walk and go talking? Because I want to make sure I'm taking care of my body. But I have to tell myself, like, look, sometimes you have to go to dinner. You have to go out and just like spend time, see, with your family and friends because it is a investment back into you. It's going to pour into your creativity. It's going to fuel you and you're going to feel good moving forward. So I'm just sharing that with you all just because I wanted to engage. She says, if what matters to us is what we're concerned about, then play and rest is important. If what matters to you, which is on that joy list, is what's the most important to you, then play and rest and napping and cooking and being home to hold your babies and, you know, being present for your marriage and making sure you have quality time for your spouse and spending time playing games with your kids and exercising. If those things are really important to you, then play and rest are what's most important. You'll make time for it. But then she says, if what matters to us is what other people think or say or value, then it's back to exhaustion and producing for self-worth. And so when I saw that, I'm like, okay, Brene, you being kind of shady. But essentially, that tells me what matters most to you in your life. Is it what you find joy and happiness out of, or if it's what the next person has to say about your life? Is someone else's opinion and their knowing of how you spend your time and your day more important to you? Are you doing things to please man? And this isn't even about being spiritual. This is a very simple question. Is your life cultivated, not even cultivated, is your life set up to impress people? Because I guarantee you, if it is, you're not happy. You're not happy because when you really tap into, like, this is what I like to do. I enjoy this. You have officially silenced the people who are watching and you are experiencing your best version of yourself because you're fueling the area that fuels you. So it wasn't so bad, right? As always, thank you for watching. Please share this video. Please like, comment below. I want to know what you do for play and rest. And I really, 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 really want you to take the time to schedule these things. I am going to personally challenge myself to write down 7 things that I want to do in the next 7 days. And I'm going to make it a priority, which means I'm going to move it up on my to-do list. It's not going to be something that I get to if I complete my to-do list. It's going to be a part of my to-do list. And I mean, everything stops. And when my anxiety or my nervousness or my overwhelmingness, whatever emotion comes with doing this, tries to ramp up, I'm going to respond to it and say, this fuels work. I'm worthy of play and rest. I'm not going to fall for the culture's promotion of exhaustion and this badge of being worthy because I'm producing so much. I'm going to rest because this is worthy of a badge just as much. I want to teach my kids and my friends that while we have air and, you know, movement in our body, that all of that is important. And so I need to rest. I need to play. I need to tap into my community. I need to create. I need to write. I need to sing. I need to do poetry. I need to tap into the things that don't make the hierarchy in my to-do list because it'll fuel the other works that I do. You're worthy of play and rest. You're going to get to wherever you're supposed to get to. Your business will flourish. Your brand will flourish. Whatever it is you're working on, And once you tap into your joy list, you'll have joy. Like, that's a win. That is a win. And I'm going to wrap this up, but it also makes me think about how many of us have missed out on quality relationships or experiences because it didn't seem like worthy. Like, okay, let me unpack that real quick before I end this video. How many of us didn't deem something as like, this will get me to the next level professionally, and so we didn't engage it. We didn't like participate in it. How many friendships, romantic relationships did we miss out on, or even opportunities, because it didn't kind of settle into our exhaustion mindset? I want you to think about that. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, as always, thank you for watching. Like this video, share this video, comment below, let me know the 7 things that you're going to do. And I'll let you all know the 7 things that I plan to do and would have already started doing by the time the next video starts. All right. Thank you for watching this and for engaging with me. I'll see you all next time.